Hello, underachievers. Before anyone says anything, I know my hair looks like this. It grows, and then it keeps growing. It will be dealt with. Also, I have a brand new song. If you want to listen to it, the link is in the description. And also, if you're not subscribed to me, why not? You may as well be. There's a lot of people that watch my videos that don't subscribe to me, and that makes me upset. And also, I want to hit 1 million. That would be really nice. Thank you very much. I made a video a few weeks ago, or like a month ago, where I rated a bunch of pride flags on a tier list, and I rated them purely by aesthetics, as in, like, my reaction to what they look like. Like, do I think they're pretty? Do I think they're ugly? A lot of people seem to like the video. A lot of people seem to love it. But there are a few people that were personally offended by my aesthetic opinion on their identities flag, to which I would like to say, grow up, thank you. There are a few people complaining that I missed their specific gender or sexual identity. So we're doing a round 2 of this, and today we're doing more niche, micro-label-y kinda identities. And luckily for me, it's not Pride Month anymore, so I can be as homophobic as I want. One last thing, if you've come to this video just to complain about the flags and the micro labels, I would say you are a loser. I would say that. Also, like, really, where is the harm in people using niche micro labels if it makes them feel comfortable, if it helps them understand themselves more? It's not hurting anybody, just grow up. We have the same tiers as last time, I'll just go over them again. So, at the top, we have Let Me Join Your Cult, and this is reserved for the flags that make me want to join the sexuality or gender identity of the flag, purely because it just looks really nice, or it looks tasty, or it looks like it smells good, or I want to eat it. Below that, we have flags that are very pretty. They're very pretty, but they don't quite make me want to detransition, don't quite make me want to change my sexuality. Below that, we have Certainly a Flag, which is reserved for just the flags. That's a flag. It's certainly a flag. That's a flag. You got colors. You wave it around a bit. It's certainly a flag. That's all it is. It's just a flag. I don't feel strongly about it. Below that, we have Did You Have To, by which I mean, did you have to choose these colors? Did you have to choose this artwork? Did you have to do that? For flags that just should know better, below that, we have A Crime, Go Straight to Jail, obviously reserved for the flags that are criminally ugly, very bad. If your flag gets put into this tier, I'm not sorry. Maybe make a new one. That's kind of how half these flags were made anyway. Like, I was reading about the history of some of them, and like half of them were made from Tumblr. Half of them had like 11 different variations for each flag. They're just flags. It's just a bit of fun. Let's get onto the flag. So, I missed this one last time. We have the Arrow Ace flag. Why am I not saying Aero? Arrow Ace. See, that just sounds wank. This flag is for aromantic asexuals, people who don't experience romantic or sexual attraction, or experience very little romantic or sexual attraction. First impressions, I like it. It reminds me of sport. It also reminds me specifically of yoga. I don't specifically know why. It's not like I'm eating moldy yogurt with blue stuff in it, but it reminds me of summer. It reminds me of a sunset. It reminds me of the beach. And I like the beach, apart from all the sand. Sure, that makes sense, Noah. I'm sure you're wondering, hey, why is the flag these colors? Yeah, I was also wondering that. So it says here, the 2 shades of blue represents the Arrow Ace, I don't care, identity, as well as the spectrum of identities and experiences. The choice of color here is intended to be between green for aromantic and purple for asexual. Would I say that shade of blue is achieving what this says the shade of blue is trying to achieve? No. And I don't want to mark it down for that. But anyway, white represents wholeness. This is meant to represent people of this identity who are aplatonic, non-amorous, or otherwise not seeking a committed partnership. And also how we are whole people on our own. Okay, that's cool. I vibe with that. That's cool. Yellow is for love and relationships that exist outside of more conventional ideas of romantic and sexual relationships. Platonic relationships, I guess. And the orange represents community. Similar to the use of blue on this flag, orange is in between purple and green for asexual and aromantic respectively. This represents both the unity of ourselves as well as our places in both the ace community. When you say the orange is between purple and green, what do you mean? Do you mean like on the color wheel? Or do you mean like if you mix them together? Because I'm confused. You take purple, and then you take green, you don't get orange. What do you get? Well, I guess we'll never know, but where would I rate this? So I like this one. I like the beach, I like sports, I like yoga, I like sun and sea, although I'm scared of the sea, and I don't like sand. I would put it in Let Me Join Your Cult, but I'm confused about the colors. A little bit. Maybe I'll move it up later, but for now I'll put it in very pretty. Next up, we have the WLW flag. Why are these things so hard to say? The woman-loving woman flag, or the sapphic flag. I'm just gonna say sapphic from now on, because that's a great word. So, the sapphic flag has 2 pink stripes on the top and bottom, symbolizing love. In the center, there's a violet, which was historically given to women to symbolize their sapphic love. It's much better than much bitter than tainted love. I do think it's very pretty. It's not making me want to join a cult, though. It's not making me want to detransition and fall in love with a woman. So I'm gonna put it in very pretty, again. I feel like the less common identities have flags that are much prettier, because maybe they were, like, discovered more recently, so they had more time to think about it, because there are some really ugly flags in the last one, but so far, we're doing pretty good. Next up, we have omnisexual, which is this flag, and if you don't know what omnisexual means, I will tell! An omnisexual is a person who has romantic, sexual, or affectional desires for people of all genders and sexes. This is similar to pansexuality. However, I feel like there are a lot of sexualities to do with being attracted to more than one gender that, like, a lot of people could, like, use interchangeably. Like, I consider myself bi, I could technically be pan, I could technically be omnisexual. I don't care, I just use the word bi. And that's the point, it's just a label, you don't have to use it. There are differences between omnisexuality and pansexuality. So, omnisexual people are not gender blind. So, a lot of people would say that people who are pansexual are gender blind in the way that, like, gender doesn't come into their sexual attraction. Like, it has no impact on it. Omnisexual people see and acknowledge gender. I mean, I feel like pansexuals still see gender. But unlike pansexuality, the gender of the people they are attracted to matters to some degree. So, it's, yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's, yeah. I love that in the history of some of these flags, they just, like, use references of, like, usernames. This flag was created by @PastelMema in 2015, very 2015 name. However, they never explain the exact meaning of the colors, so I guess we'll never know. Does it make me want to join a cult? I'm gonna put it in let me join your cult, because I could easily join this cult. I could just start identifying as omnisexual, but, like, most people don't know what that is, so I just wouldn't do that. So, next up, we have two very requested sexuality flag tier list rate for Noahfinnce. First up, we have the Demiboy flag, which you could probably guess what Demiboy means. Pause this video, and guess in the comments what you think a Demiboy is. Is it half a man? And if it is half a man, is it split down the middle, like that, from head to toe, or is it split down the torso? I would rather be split down the torso. So, a Demiboy is a person who feels their gender identity partially identifies with a masculine identity, but is not wholly binary. So it's like non-binary boy, but not entirely a man. And we got a little bit of history here. So the first known recorded instance of someone referring to themselves as a Demiboy was August 12th, 2010, by a user named Bad Patient on Avon. So there are people that will be watching this video that are younger than the term Demiboy. So, this person said, I said to myself that I can use any word related to me if I just stick a demi in front of it. And then I realized that it might actually help me find a word for my gender identity. I felt for some time that I may have too much of a masculine element in me to call myself agender and feel good about it. So, maybe it would be a nice idea to call myself a demi-guy, demi-dude, demi-bloke. I think this guy is English. Or British. Bloke. That's very British. And in terms of the colours, blue represents manhood or masculinity, duh. White represents non-binary or agender identities, duh. And grey represents the grey areas and partial connections and the possibility of more genders rather than the two on the binary spectrum. Okay, slay, we love it. Do we love the flag? No, we don't love the flag. The flag is ugly. There's grey in it, and I can't celebrate anything with grey in it. Demiboys, I'm sorry, you're going in a crime goes straight to jail, because there's no reason for people to be using this much grey. I understand why there's grey. It makes sense. It's like, we get it. It's between black and white. I still hate it. And you know what I'm gonna think about the demi-girl flag as well, don't you? So, for the demi-girl flag, you know that the white and the grey represent the same things, but the pink, could you guess? The pink represents womanhood or femininity. We could have guessed that. A crime goes straight to jail, or did you have to? A crime goes straight to jail. I'm sorry, demi people. I do not respect your flag. I'll respect your pronouns, though. Reluctantly, though. If you change the flag, I'd be all for it. Next up, we have the androgyny flag, and ooh, when I saw this, I was looking forward to this one. This flag is so incredible. It's so beautiful. I love it. It's so bold. Look at the pink. Look at the purple. Look at the blue. I would eat this flag. I would love an ice lolly with this flag. Why do we not do that? I feel like for Pride's, next year for Pride, some organizers should make like a Pride ice cream van or an ice cream shop or an ice lolly shop where they have like, ooh, androgyny ice lolly, where it's just these colors. Do you agree? So what do you think pink represents? Could you guess? Yes, womanhood or femininity. What does blue represent, if not man? And purple, which represents androgyny, which is a combination of the two colors. I love it. It works. The colors make sense. It's true that pink and blue do make purple. I love purple. Purple is one of my favorite colors. I love these shades. Let me join your cult. I want to be androgyny. I want to be androgyny. Next up, we have the polyamorous flag, and it looks like this, and I'm sorry. Is anyone really loving it? It reminds me of like a national flag, like South Korea vibes. To be honest, I just googled the difference between the South Korean flag and the North Korean flag. It's giving me more North Korean vibes, which is, you know, that they don't treat their citizens well. Polyamorous people, I'm sorry. So, a polyamorous person desires or engages in multiple romantic and typically sexual relationships with the consent of all the people involved. I mean, they're not all sexual. Would that be polysexual? No, it wouldn't, because polysexual is multiple sexualities. Ooh, words. So, why the ugly colours and the ugly pie sign? Let's explain. So, Jim Evans created this in 1995. Jesus, this flag is older than me and it's ugly. Have you not thought of updating it to make it a little bit prettier since then? The blue bar represents honesty and openness among partners, which, yeah, I would hope. The red bar represents love and affection. That's cute. That's really nice. The black bar represents solidarity with all people that have to hide their multi-lover partnerships from the rest of the world. Yeah. Wow. I guess. There are many explanations for the pie symbol in the middle of the flag. However, the one that makes the most sense and is agreed upon by most people is that it stands for infinite love amongst partners. Infinite love is very strong. I mean, like, being in a relationship with one person, I guess, like, even then, infinite love, that's an ask. Infinite love with, like, 3 people, that's intense, and not just for that reason, for multiple others, including the fact that it has the pie symbol on it, and I hate pie. The maths pie. Pie is alright. I like lemon meringue pie. In terms of maths, I hate maths, so I'm sorry that's going, a crime goes straight to jail. So far, we've not really had any certainly a flag. Or did you have to? Maybe that will come up. Next up, we have the MLM flag. And no, that's not multi-level media, or multi-level marketing, or whatever the pyramid scheme thing is. I think it's marketing. It stands for man loving man, men loving men. Do men who love men have a word like sapphic? Is there a word like sapphic for MLMs? Let me know. This was heavily requested, and I would just like to say, this is, like, probably one of my favorite looking flags in the world, just gonna say. If I was a flag guy who wore flags to Pride, I don't. I wore this to Pride. But if I was a flag guy, I would wear this. This reminds me of the ocean and swimming and the sea, but it's not scary. I'm not scared of this sea. I love the greeny blue colors. Greeny blue is my favorite color. I love green, I love blue, mix them together, absolutely. It reminds me of being a 10-year-old child and having swimming lessons. It's quite amphibious, isn't it? So I don't understand this sentence. I'm just gonna read it out. The green, in brackets, community, and teal, in brackets, joy, in the flag, represent nature. So they represent community and joy and nature all together. I thought this was important because love between men is often seen as unnatural in the eyes of society and in religion. I love that. I love that. That's cool. It looks great. It sounds great. Furthermore, gay men have historically used green flowers and plants, carnations or hyacinths, to symbolize our love. The white stripe is adopted from the trans pride flag because trans, non-binary, and gender non-conforming men are often erased or talked over and need explicit representation. Love it! Love it! Is there a tier higher than let me join your cult? Like, let me be the leader of your cult. Like, let me suck your... The purple, fortitude, and indigo, diversity in the flag, represent diversity in presentation, relationships, and life experience. And that's wonderful. I love that. You know where this flag is going. I love this flag. I love this flag. I want to climb inside this flag and, like, nibble on it a little bit, like, just like... Oh yeah, I'm wearing one of my Invisalign trays. It feels weird. Next up is the gay flag. It's the flag for gays. It's not the progress flag like we did in the last video. It's just the gay one. It's just the rainbow flag. Obviously, I'm sorry, it's gonna be in Let Me Join Your Cult. Already done it, already been done. Drop a yes I did in the comments if you joined the gay cult, or if you're considering it. So next up we have the drag flag, and just like looking at it, I'm kind of conflicted. Like, I get it. The purple signifies a passion for drag. Purple signifies a lot of things. Apparently. White signifies how one's body and face become a blank slate to change and create characters on. I like that. That's cool. That makes sense. Blue signifies self-expression and loyalty. The crown signifies leadership within the community. And the stars signify the many forms of drag. So, like, I get it. It makes sense why it looks like that. I just wish it didn't. I understand that I told you that I like purple. And that it's one of my favorite colors. But just in this flag, it just doesn't, I'm not feeling it. This is gonna go in certainly a flag, because I get it, like, the crown is cute, we get it, it's not camp enough, I think. I think if it was camper, I would like it more, but how it is right now, I'm not feeling it. Next up, we have the abrosexual flag, which I did not know, and I can't remember, even after researching it, so I have what it is here. Abrosexuality is having different levels of sexual or romantic attractions throughout your life. A person who is abrosexual may also have changes in their sexual orientation over time. For example, a person who is abrosexual might be sexually attracted to men at one point, then not sexually attracted to anyone weeks later. They may have periods of different intensities of attraction. That was so long for some reason. This is interesting because I also feel like a lot of people feel like their sexuality or their gender changes over time, and that's a material thing for them, but then, like, a lot of people also are just like, oh, actually, I was wrong the first time, and I was wrong the second time, and I'm right now. So, like, I guess it just depends on how you feel about your own identity, which I guess, like, I wouldn't be able to tell you how you feel about it. For all of my life leading up to the point where I was, like, 19 or 20, I was exclusively attracted to men. Just guys. Just big... Not big. Just men. And then I realized I was bi because, you know, there are a lot of insecurities about my own, body when it came to my own, body. And that was kind of distracting me from realizing that I actually did like women. I just could not stand boobs on myself. I would definitely not say I'm abrosexual, but, like, I obviously have a different experience than somebody that would. In terms of the color, they said the green represents a queer attraction, the fade to white is for the in-between stage of attraction shifting, and pink is for the actual shift itself. Also, the colors match that of a watermelon, which could be a fun pun on the fluidity of our orientation. Is the pun that it's water and that it's fluid? Sure, it looks like the Italian flag. And I like the Italian flag. I think the Italian flag's pretty. I guess the explanation makes sense. I don't think it makes me want to join the cult. So I'm just gonna put it in very pretty. Because it is very pretty. So, next up we have bigender, which is, what is that? Well, bi is two, I guess. So bigender is two genders, so you have two genders. What is bigender? It's a gender identity which can be literally translated as two genders or double gender. I am so smart. I am so smart. These people experience exactly two gender identities, either simultaneously or varying between the two. So you could be man and woman, or you could be man and non-binary, or you could be man and demigirl, or could you be girl and demigirl? And while I was looking this up, this came up, so, oh god. The original bigender flag is labeled as controversial due to the creator being revealed as a transphobe, pedophile, and abuser. Other designs were made by people uncomfortable using the original flag after this news came out. So I think I'm right in saying that the flag that I have here is the updated one. And unfortunately, I do prefer the old one because this purple bar in the middle, very distracting in a way that I'm not, you know. But that being said, I still think it's very pretty. It's just the blues and the purples and the pinks. They just go well together. Like, this flag smells good. I know this flag smells good. It reminds me of, Parma violets. You know Parma violets, those little sweets? And I want to eat them and put them in my mouth and chew them up. So, good job, bigenders, for the flag. I would say it's very pretty. Good job. Next up, we have the Gay Bear Brotherhood flag, which I love that there is a flag for the Gay Bear Brotherhood. I am not part of the Brotherhood. I don't know if I could possibly join the Brotherhood because I cannot grow facial hair or much body hair at all. Apart from my stomach. I have a hairy belly. Anyway, for those of you who don't know what a bear is in terms of gay stuff, here is the definition. So, in gay culture, a bear is a larger and often hairier man who projects an image of rugged masculinity. I mean, sure, I would not say all bears express rugged masculinity. I don't think them being a little bit feminine or very feminine makes them not a bear. They're still big and hairy, and the flag's colours are intended to represent the colours of animal bear furs from throughout the world. And obviously, there's a bear paw print, which you see, that is a paw print of a bear. I thought it was a dog when I first saw it. So, I wouldn't exactly call this flag pretty. I do like it. It's just not pretty, is it? So it's going to be in certainly a flag. Next up, we have the questioning flag, which I think is a bit strange. It's also probably good that people who are questioning and are unsure should have a flag, but the flag itself is just a coloured flag with a question mark on it. It's just got a big question mark on it because they're confused. They don't get it. I understand the need for it, although, like, I'm just gonna put this in did you have to, because, like, you could have made a more inventive, creative flag than just, like, sticking a question mark on top of a bunch of colours. And lastly, we have the Pangender Flag, which immediately upon looking at it, I had conflicted views about, because it's yellow, and it's pink. And I like yellow and I like pink. But for some reason, this flag specifically, and the shades of yellow and pink that it uses, it's just not calling out to me. I think they could have used better shades. So if you don't know what being pangender is, or what it entails, so a pangender person is someone who feels comfortable with different kinds of gender labels, and whose gender identity is not limited to one gender, and may encompass all genders at once. It comes with an understanding that the vast and diverse multiplicity of genders within the same individual can extend infinitely, always within the person's own culture and life experience, and may or may not include unknown genders. That was a lot of words. So yellow is for all genders that aren't connected to female and male and are represented by the yellow color, which I get. I love it. I think yellow is a great color. I love that it's like a gender neutral, I guess, color for babies. I had a yellow bedroom. My bedroom was yellow. If it was pink, I would have hated it. If it was blue, I would have loved it. But yellow, That's fine, that's cool. Light red denotes the transition between the genders of female and male, light violet pink represents female and male, and white symbolizes the union of all of these genders. So that's cool. It looks like a trans flag that just didn't quite find its place. I'm gonna have to put it in certainly a flag, which is annoying because I like this shade of yellow, if you get what I'm saying, but just with the pink and the white, I just don't think it works. So that was it. That's all the flags rated. Let me know in the comments how you feel about my rating. Do you really disagree? Do you really agree? Are you upset with me? Do you love me? Have a good day or don't. See you later, losers. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, I need to punch it. Ah! Oh, jeez, very hypermobile.
Goodbye.